I'm Glenroy Murray, the current Executive Director of Equality for All Foundation. In truth, Equality for All Foundation represents a shift from invisibility to visibility. JFLAG, as it then was oftentimes seen as an organization where people operated behind the scenes. And that's because the context required that. Most of the persons that worked within JFLAG in the earlier years, they were very concerned about their safety. They wrote under pseudonyms, they spoke with voice changes in the media. And then when Dane publicly came out in and around 2010 to 2011, that shifted everything. And that meant that as a community, we now had representatives. And that representative moved from a few gay men to a wider range of actors. And I think that shift in representation led to a plurality of representation of gay men, queer women, trans people, and that necessitated a shift to a name that could be associated with the kinds of work that we started to do. Things like Pride Jamaica, for example, that saw the community in all of its glory. And I think Equality for All Foundation captured that new era, that vibrant energy, that public-facing version of the organization.
Inclusion isn't just symbolic, it's also operational.
I think there was a very limited view of JFLAG's work in the past. Everyone thought that we only ever cared about amending the buggery laws and then talking about violence in the community in a very narrow way, as in violence that gay men and sometimes trans women faced. With this new frame that we've been working under, we have an expanded view of what our community needs. Yes, we need law reform, but not just of the anti-sodomy laws, but all laws that affect our community, like the absence of anti-discrimination legislation, for example. And we also need to be looking at social services, visibility, participation in democratic processes. And that is what Equality for All Foundation is able to hold. A holistic view of communities' needs, wants, and our asks of our leaders. And I think that can help to shift this view of a one-dimensional community that is only focused on sex, but more so of a community that is interested in being fully integrated and participating in Jamaican society. How I would usually describe our work is that we do a range of things, including policy and legislative advocacy to shift the legal situation to better include the needs of our community, training of service providers in a range of sectors like healthcare and social services to better meet the needs of our community, awareness raising campaigns and visibility events like Pride JA, as well as research into the realities facing our community to bolster that advocacy, which represents a notable shift from where we were in the past, which was advocacy, of course, but also a significant focus on meeting the significant needs of our community in the days when there was higher levels of violence and discrimination.
The name had to match our work.
So there's an interesting story about how our work began to better incorporate the community, and that's that in 2016, when we looked at our strategic plan, there was no focus on community engagement, and that began to be incorporated into our work for the foreseeable future, into the present day. And so I think the community has latched on to the visibility work. You can see that in the transition of what our media work was when it was just a few of us that did all of this type of visibility work, to now community in their own spaces are showing up and sharing their own experiences. I'm actually heartened to see that some of what we did in and around 2016 and 2017 now reflects a difference in how community feels that they can take up space. I think the work going forward is for us to continue to partner with our community actors, our influencers, to recognize that you can move from sharing your story to pushing for advocacy that changes your material reality. And I think there are lots of opportunities for that.